है, ईश्वर प्रेम है, प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है। हर धड़कन में साई समा है, ईश्वर प्रेम है। हर धड़कन में साई समा है, ईश्वर प्रेम है, प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है, प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है। राम रहीम कृष्ण करीम, राम रहीम कृष्ण करीम, ज़ोराष्ट्र येशु नानक, ज़ोराष्ट्र येशु नानक। कोई भी नाम जपो हे मनुआ, ईश्वर प्रेम है। कोई भी नाम जपो हे मनुआ, ईश्वर प्रेम है। मनुआ कोई भी नाम जपो हे मनुआ, ईश्वर प्रेम है। मनुआ कोई भी नाम जपो हे मनुआ, ईश्वर प्रेम है, प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है। हर धड़कन में साई समा है, ईश्वर प्रेम है, प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है। राम रहीम कृष्ण करीम, ज़ोराष्ट्र येशु नानक। कोई भी नाम जपो हे मनुआ, ईश्वर प्रेम है। मनुआ कोई भी नाम जपो हे मनुआ, ईश्वर प्रेम है, प्रेम ईश्वर है, ईश्वर प्रेम है। Singing that on Mrityunjaya for Shiva and Janani Sai Bhavani for Gnaneshwari.
This is 4 verses of Sringeri Sharda. ब्रह्म शक्ति श्री शारदये ब्रह्म ज्ञानव कोडुताये, ब्रह्म शक्ति श्री शारदये ब्रह्म ज्ञानव कोडुताये। वीणा पाणि सरस्वतीये, वीणा पाणि सरस्वतीये, वाणी चतुष्टय रूपिणिये। वीणा पाणि सरस्वतीये वाणी चतुष्टय रूपिणिये। विद्या देवी सरस्वतीये विद्यार्थिगे नीने गतिये। विद्या देवी सरस्वतीये विद्यार्थिगे नीने गतिये। सद्बुद्धिय नीयुते जबदी सद्विद्येय कोडु कಡು मुददी। सद्बुद्धिय नीयुते जबदी सद्विद्येय कोडु कಡು मुददी। भारती निज भारतीय कोडे भारत भक्तर कापाडे। भारती निज भारतीय कोडे भारत भक्त ಭಕ್ತರ ಕಾಪಾಡೆ. ವಾಣಿಯ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸುವೆನು ಬಾರೆ, ವಾಣಿಯ ದಿಷ್ಟಾನವ ತೋರೆ. ವಾಣಿಯ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸುವೆನು ಬಾರೆ, ವಾಣಿಯ ದಿಷ್ಟಾನವ ತೋರೆ. പൂരേ അനുഭവം വൈകരിയം അരുഹുവെ നാനിന്നയ കൃപയും. പൂരേ അനുഭവ വൈകരിയം അരുഹുവെ നാനിന്നയ കൃപയും. കരുണതി കായേ സരസ്വതിയേ പരമശിവാനന്ദവനിയേ. കരുണതി കായേ സരസ്വതിയേ പരമശിവാനന്ദനവിയേ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಶಕ್ತಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆಯೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವ ಕೊಡುತ್ತಾಯೇ. ವೀಣಾಪಾಣಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿಯೇ ವಾಣಿ ಚತುಷ್ಟಯ ರೂಪಿಣಿಯೇ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಶಕ್ತಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆಯೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವ ಕೊಡುತ್ತಾಯೇ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ. Yeah, just I don't know. Was it correct? No? Pronunciation?
Yeah. All right. What would change in this very moment if you recognized that nothing was ever missing? Do you mean you recognize the whole was? Is that what you mean? Okay. Is nothing the absence of thingness? As in the example, this room is empty of pots, not empty of roomness. Yeah, nothing is always with reference to something. To say nothing, you must be there. So your first question is, what would change this moment if you recognize that nothing is ever missing? Means there is nothing other than me. What you're saying essentially means there is no entity except me. What would be the change? Life would become a drama. Because the body will continue, the mind will continue, the world will continue, but your vision of yourself and the world is completely different. It's like a person who is playing a role, perhaps a difficult role in a play or a movie, but knows very well he is playing a role. What difficulty would he face? He plays the role of a person who is mistreated, is thrown to prison, tortured. Everything would be what? If he cries, he will cry with joy. Because he knows it's only a role. The difficulty is, if I don't see my life as just a play action which has no impact on me, I am really not involved. It's only a show happening. Then see, the whole show is me. It's not that this hero is me and the villain is not me. Everything is just me. So we have to only imagine what it does to you. I mean, it's hard to conceive how to explain the state, how to explain what the person, a jnani, will look like. So Bhagavan Gita Acharya simply says, you cannot perceive what night is when you're only in your day. And you can't perceive what day is when you're only in night. That's the difference. There is no way you can comprehend, but the closest you can say is what? What is your position when you're happy? The whole world is what it is, but you're just fine. So that's why we say happiness is the closest to understand what it means, because you're demand free. You're totally demand free. You don't see anything that needs to change. Everything is in order. And even if it's something to change, you change. If it changes, fine. If it doesn't, also you're fine. So you go from one state of everything is okay to another state of everything is okay. There is no state which makes you wanting. That's what it is. Is that clear? Yes?
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
My follow-up question is that can you give some practical advice on how to follow this, like in very intimate relations with your mother or your father or someone who is very, very close to you, and then there are situations when you feel like they have to change because their idea of whatever that situation is affecting you so much and you don't want to lose your ground. So it's like practically like what to do in that situation where you're convinced that only this person changing will make the difference to your state of mind.
Drop that conclusion. That's the best way. Because you believe it is good that they change. They believe you should change. Now it's a question of who is the winner. Okay? This will never end. Your freedom lies not in changing the other. Your freedom lies in responding to what is. You have freedom to respond. Okay? Suppose you want to go out now. Alright? And the door is locked. You say, I want to go out from there only. Locked from outside. What will happen? You go. What will happen? You keep trying. You will have bruised forehead, okay? You better say, where's the open door and go that way. Find out other doorways to go. Don't try to break the wall. You'll break your head. Okay? And understand, the way to deal with it, I have spent a lot of time on it, is to understand that everyone's behavior is in keeping with their background. They don't, especially parents, they don't mean ill. They mean well. But their understanding of well is different from your understanding of well. That's the problem. That's the real problem. So if you have that understanding, you listen to them, and even if you don't change, don't resent them. Don't resent them. Try not to, because you understand that they have taken care of you for a long time and they mean well. With that background in your mind, you just accept them. You may not do what they want you to do. You may not change. Don't try to change them, because if you can't change at your age, don't expect your mother or father to change at their age. They are much more, entrenched in their own thought life. Harder. They may. But if they change, it is your loss and their gain. If they change, it is your loss. If you are able to accept them, it is your gain. Decide what you want. Them to grow or you to grow. You decide. What happened here?
You gave me the opposite advice.
Sorry? I gave you the opposite advice? Let me hear that again. I would like to hear that. You know what? Correct. I'll tell you why. Again, the concept is same. The concept is same. What is the concept? Now, that's a daughter resenting a mother. Here's a mother resenting a son. So, whoever resents, they will get the advice, don't change the other. This principle remains same. Underlying principle is the same. What is the principle? You can't change anybody. Write it down big. Read it 10 times over. Every day in the morning. Japa. I can't change my son. I can't change my son. I can't change my son. I won't try to change my son. I accept my son. Do a japa. You'll do well. And what should she do? I can't change my mother. Japa is same. I can change myself. If at all anybody, I can change myself. That's the reality. That's the reality. It's a fact. If you fight a wall, you will have a broken head. This, if we understand, the sooner we understand this, the better off we are. Yes, it is hard to accept. It is hard to accept when you believe that what I think is right and the other one should have the benefit. For a mother, it's like, I know better. I'm so much older than you. I know what's good for you. You're only 15. Come on, listen to me. Son says, Mom, I'm 15. I know better. Where are you? Who is going to win now? You're not going to win. Even if you win 3 more years, then you may have a bigger problem. Therefore, I said, yield. Not totally. You do everything in your capacity. Everything in your capacity to make them what you feel is good for them. But one thing is for sure. I may be wrong in my perceptions. I may be wrong in what I think is good for the other. I am not sure. Therefore, what you think is right, if he also thinks it is right, there will be no conflict. The fact is, we differ. And that difference comes from values, different comes from age, different comes from new outlook. We don't see the world from their worldview, do we? And neither does she see the parents' worldview. So there's a generational gap, 30 years typically, 25 to 30 years generational gap. Each generation, that's the gap. So what do you expect? There will be differences, right? So advice is same, not opposite. Change yourself, don't try to change others. That's this advice, okay? Not advice. That's what helps. Okay. As per my understanding, you said everything has an invariable part. How do we, now, if we throw a clock, what is the invariable part in it? Why throw a clock? Keep a clock also. Makes no difference. Where's the questioner? Oh, there you are. I am looking for you here. Okay. Keep sitting. See, I will answer this more, but understand one thing. It is not that every object has invariable parts. Don't look at it that way. If you look at it that way, you will find it is harder to understand. It is true. But you have to understand that every experience, the subject-object really is one reality. Therefore, that reality will be there. You leave this question for now, okay? First time you are coming for Vedanta, it will take a little longer. Give it under 2 days, right? 2 more days for the camp. It hopefully will get clearer, all right? Because I'll have to go through the whole section. Next question also I will leave out for now. We will deal with it in class. Okay. I have 2 options before me. Focus on doing karma probably, but at the same time, seek to understand the jnanam for removing avidya. Let us call this ladder 1. Okay. 2. Focus on and seek to understand and act on the jnanam part. Act on the jnanam part, but continue to do the karma as required. Let us call this ladder 2. I am not clear about 2 ladder difference. You will have to help me understand that. Okay. The analogy of the ladder mentioned by you is taken here, and I understand we need to. Oh, ladder step 1 you meant. Maybe. Okay. We need to cross step 1 before step 2 and so on. Okay. Is it possible to view our goals as 2 ladders? Okay. Where either can be used based on our disposition and perusability. All right, let me now read it again for my understanding, so it's clearer. Okay.
It's personality.
Oh, personality, okay. But what you are saying is, so what is the base of one ladder? Explain the bottom rung and top rung of both ladders to me, so I'm clear.
Top rung and bottom rung are the same. Ladder 1 is focused more on karma yoga.
Okay.
Ladder 2 is focused more on jnana yoga.
Okay, look, let me explain the difference, okay? Karma yoga means what you said here. You do your karma and keep studying, listening, contemplating. This is karma yoga. The jnanam part is same, whether you are doing karma or not doing karma. The second option, focus on seek to understand, means what? You'll reduce your time on doing karma and spend more time on study. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. But that is, so far as you do karma, it is still karma yoga. All right? Now you have to determine where is it that I have a difficulty. And generally the difficulty lies generally in not having a mind which is ready. Generally. If the mind is ready, knowledge is relatively straightforward. So the way the Shastras present is karma, jnanam along with our karmas. But karma done with the attitude of yoga, that brings a lot of change. Because that Ishvara awareness means you will be helped immensely. Even if you don't get jnanam, you will find a lot of freedom. Because you're able to accept things in Vyavahara as Ishvara's order. So then the second thing which is called sannyasa or Sankhya Marga is jnanam to the exclusion of karma. Now what you're saying is you're changing the mix. It's perfectly all right. What you're saying is, now let us say I spend 6 hours on doing things and 2 hours of study. In time I'll make it 4 hours of study, 4 hours of doing. Then I will reduce it. That's perfectly all right. Until one day you are so clear, karma just happens and it's not binding on you. And though we don't have sannyasa, see, you're retired, you're old enough, you can consider vanaprastha, wherein your commitment to society and other things reduce in time. So what you're saying is perfectly workable. All right? You have to see what makes sense. But if in doubt, err on the first ladder. Don't go to second. All right? It should not be. See what happens. Listening to these classes sometimes is a joy. Like you listen to Puji Swami, you can listen to him all day. It's wonderful. But that doesn't solve my problem if I'm not an adhikari. So the joy of listening should not take me away from what I should really do. So I should examine whether I'm able to more or less accept situations as they are. Have I grown out of a need to get certain things have to be like this, which means my value for situations is very strong still, then those need to be weakened. Because if I don't weaken them, any amount I study, even if I understand to a good extent, that knowledge won't come out as a blessing for me in life. Because while the knowledge is there, still I can't let go, which means the reality for what is very strong still. That we have to look into. Okay? So Swamiji would normally say in this context that if, let's say, you want to drop karma, make sure you have a program of study wherein the dropping of karma, the time you drop, is utilized well. If you don't have a program and don't have a discipline, you will neither do karma nor will you understand. Both won't happen. So therefore, he would like, if say I'll quit my job and come, he will say, wait till I start a course, don't quit. Work. So Swamiji, I don't work. I need the money. You work and give me the money if you don't need it. This is what he would say to us. So because probably he also saw that you needed some more time out there. We get impatient at times, I want to come. But he knows better. So he says, you hang on there, I'll call you. Why? Because he sees that you need more mellowing down. And also, even after you come, if you don't mellow down, you have to do something somewhere. You can't not do when you have that urge to do something. You won't change your office, you will change the Gurukulam. That's all. Okay. In today's class you said, subject, object both arise in me. But isn't it subject and object experience arise in me? Doesn't object have its own reality outside of me? Otherwise it sounds like subjective realism, subjective idealism. All right. Look, outside of which me? Outside of which me is the question. When I say subject or object both arise from me, the vision is what? There is only one reality. It is not that there is one object for Adhyatma and one object for Adhibhuta. It is not like that. Brahmaiva idam agre asit. Sadeva somya idam agre asit. There was only one. That alone is manifest as everything. Therefore, the reality, Sat, is not one for the objective world, one for the subjective world. There is only one Sat. There is only one reality. And that reality, that existence which is self-evident, is not available for either being a subject or an object. Therefore, the reality of the subject and the reality of the object both are the same reality. They are not two different things. The difficulty is you somehow think there is an internal world and an external world. Correct? True. From a standpoint, it is true. What is internal? What is internal to my senses is internal. What is external to my senses is external. What does the word external mean? Where did you interpret external? In your mind. Where did you interpret the word internal? In your mind. What is the reality of the mind? We will see. It is not real. Therefore, what is external, internal? It's not real. Then what remains? Is only one. See and understand this. Context was subject and object, the world and the mind arise together and set together. They arise and resolve together. If they arise and resolve together, they both must share a common reality. Does that make sense? Otherwise, why do they always come together and go together? Your sight is always with your eyes. Close your eyes, visual world is not there. Open your eyes, visual world is there. Therefore, there must be a commonality of both the visual world and the vision. Otherwise, they cannot be correlated like this. This is Anumanam. And Shastra will corroborate that later. Correct? But what I am saying to you is the whole thing that you see is in the mind. That's why the dream is example. See, if subject-object were two distinct things, why in the dream subject-object both are you? The possibility that subject-object both are you is made evident through a dream example. Alright? So, it is not subjective idealism in one sense that the pot reality, you keep going back, pot to clay to whatever. How far will it take for me to from body to that again, you tell me? Body, pot, clay. Body, what? Food. Food to what next? Plant. Plant to what? Clay. I have come back to clay. How far was it? Finally it is, annam means it is only soil. So Chandogya Upanishad will say what? Tejo ab annam. Annam is this body is annam only. Therefore, even if you go that route, I'm just saying it's a little detour, kind of detour, but it's all one reality. Alright? If you try to analyze it this way, you will find trouble. The way we should look at it is try to see, am I like any other object in the world? Am I? Am I like one more object in the world? Am I like everybody else in the world? Second question. There are a lot of people around you. Are you one of them? Do you think so? Place the eye and see. Is the eye same as everything else? How do you know there are others? How do you know that there is someone else? How do you know? You objectify them. How do you know there's a pot? You objectify it. How do you know you are? Is there anything else in the universe like you? Is there anything else at all? No study required for this. I'm just saying, think. Is there anything else like you? If it is not, how come you lump this with everything else? You only make the difference between something looks like me, one more body. Don't do that right now. The body is also known to you, it's evident to you. Now you see, I am different from the whole universe. The whole universe is evident to me. I alone am independently evident to myself. Don't leave this. Alright? Now you examine. What is this I? which is evident. The body is all, even my body is evident to me. My thoughts are also evident to me. Then what am I? What is evident to me, what becomes evident to me is not me. Dirikdrishya Viveka. This is bread and butter. This, if it's clear, now you can see how you are distinct, because everything else is evident. You keep going. Where will you find? You will find yourself is Drishyavaritam, is Chitvam. Awareness. And we will see in a day or two, in the next 2 days, we will see that Chitvam is Sattvam. We will establish that. Means the awareness is existence. There is no existence apart from awareness. It is not that awareness is here, existence is there. It is not like that. Existence is not an attribute which you can objectify. Awareness is not an attribute you can objectify. Both of them are your very Swarupa. We will establish that. But I'm saying, if you try to look at the world and analyze, you will likely go in circles again and again. Don't give up this understanding. I am distinct. Even within the parameters, I am distinct. This is how Ramana will approach also. Because he says, before you ask about the world, before you ask about Ishvara, do you know who you are? See, his emphasis is on taking your mind away from running after things to saying, come back. First, know yourself. Without establishing yourself, whatever you establish is faulty. That's why I said, if mind is shown as mithya, whatever it establishes is also equally mithya. If the movie is false, whatever the movie shows is equally false. That is the way you want to approach it. You don't want to approach this subject academically, which means you are interested only in I and not I. So first step is to keep saying whatever is objectifiable is not I. Then you will find a huge pile called not I. And the last step will be, you understand what is I, and then the whole huge pile comes back feather light. It won't weigh you down. That's the basis. It won't weigh you down because it can't weigh you down. That is called jnana. Okay? So, we will address that again as we go.
Swamiji, I have a follow-up question. Can I?
Yeah, I have too many questions today. I will take, but today it will be a little hard if we take too many follow-up. Go ahead, I'll take this one.
I didn't understand the difference between consciousness and existence.
Okay. Subject matter for next 2 days. Don't worry about it. See, a lot of things are mentioned, but are not yet established. It takes some time. All right? I dwelt a lot more time on realities of life as we see it because I feel that's much more important. But we will deal with this too. We have 2 more days. Right? Tomorrow. And we have third day also, we'll get 1 or 2 classes. Let's see how many we can manage. Yeah. Okay. Before moksha, vasanas create problem thoughts. Can after moksha, vasanas continue to create problems? Except I don't identify with these thoughts. See, when you say I don't identify with these thoughts, if the clay says there is only me, there is no vasana or anything. There is only clay. There is only me. There is only me. If there is a second thing, it can bother you. Is there a second thing? Yes, there is a second thing. Then the knowledge is unclear at that point. The minute you acknowledge a second, how do you count to? What counts to? Does consciousness count 1, 2, 3, 4? Who counts? I count. What is that I? What is that I? We'll look into it tomorrow. But this I is awareness, but is somehow having an individuation. That somehow is called avidya. Okay? That fellow can count. And that fellow is the mind. Mind plus awareness, which means plus is what? Like pot plus clay. Mind plus awareness is like pot plus clay. So what is mind plus awareness? If you understand, there is only awareness. Until you understand, it is mind plus awareness. And this mixture, funny mixture, is the fellow who counts. It counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once that mixture has been dismantled, in what way? There is no mixture. There is one and the other is just a shadow of it, or it's mithya. Once that is done, there is no more. You can't count two. You can't count two. If you can't count two, what can bother you? But all this is dependent on what? I know what I am being told I am. Without that knowledge, it doesn't work. Until knowledge, we don't have to question what will happen in moksha. Dvaitati bhayam bhavati. Dvaita is what? Duality. When there are two, one limits the other. Therefore, one limits the other means I am always in trouble. And to count two, as said, you need subject-object. To count one more, even to count one, you need subject-object. The one we talk of, non-dually, is not counted. It's just presence. There's no counting. The 1-2 is counted by a fellow who thinks I am a counter and there also has to be counted. That is negated. Okay? In the dream example, when a dream person recognizes their truth, it is the knowledge of the dreamer. Similarly, since we are, in so to say, Ishvara's dream, we can only recognize our reality as Ishvara's knowledge. But still, Ishvara's awareness will not be our direct reality. We can only have a portal into awareness. Not true. Not true. In your dream, when you saw, your whole dream is what? It's your knowledge, I said. But is the knowledge hanging in thin air? Where does knowledge reside? In an awareness. So any knowledge is what? Knowledge, awareness. Is there knowledge without awareness? Is there any knowledge without awareness? Can you even imagine knowledge without awareness? Can you imagine anything without awareness? Without awareness, there is no you, there is no world, there is nothing. What is there without awareness? Subject is subject, awareness is. Object, object, awareness is. When the wave arises, it arises being water. It rises being water. It goes down being water. Waterness, does it ever give up? The pot, the clay becoming pot. Remaining clay alone, it becomes a pot. Remaining clay, it dismantles. Is there any situation of the clay world without clay? Without awareness, there is no dream. And every person in your dream, their consciousness, every person's body in their dream, every person's thoughts in the dream, every person's dress in the dream, every rock, the sun, the space, the time, everything is your knowledge, and that knowledge is non-separate from your awareness. What is only your awareness. That's how we have to understand it. Okay? The dream state is mithya. This is easily understood. In waking state, with respect to inanimate objects, it is also possible to understand this. However, treating situation and human relations with mithya in the waking state is more difficult. Possible, our own ego or understanding of self may contribute to it. True. We have this clear separation of life and non-life. What is the objection to the two being life being mithya? Why? Why is there an objection to it? What is the definition of mithya? A dependent entity. Alright? This body, are you able to see is a dependent entity? Okay. Then this consciousness is the truth of this body, are you able to see? Not yet. That's the difficulty. You see that, then this will also happen. Until we understand all the results of the knowledge, we cannot expect to gain. Upanishad makes a beautiful statement. Doubts are many, but all the doubts will vanish when this truth is understood. At one shot, they will vanish. Bhidyate hridaya grantihi छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि tasmin drishte paravare. Until you see that, you cannot dismiss, because we have not really understood what I really am. Once you understand, exactly like I told her, in dream, every person in a dream is you. The mountain is also you. Same will apply here, because of the same awareness, which is the truth of everything. Okay? So, I appreciate your difficulty. At the same time, I'm saying the only way is to gain more clarity into the understanding. All right? That this distinction between sentient and insentient is purely on account of what manifests consciousness and what doesn't, in a given way, as awareness, as life. So, light is the same everywhere. A mirror reflects light in a very clear way. You can see your face. But the other things don't reflect light so well. But the light reflected is the same, and what you're seeing is only light. Recognize that. Then you're in better shape. So, once you understand that easiness, a lot of these problems will go. See, right now you think only awareness. You have to understand what is easiness. We will come to it. Okay? Okay. One way of doing it is to understand everything is Ishvara. So when you say everything is Ishvara, what happens when I say everything is Ishvara? I am not separating this Asti Bhati Priyam, this Satchit Ananda from Namarupa. Bundled, I am saying Ishvara, which means Chaitanyam plus all the names and forms, the knowledge for all names and forms, I am calling Ishvara. All right? When I say everything is Ishvara, Chaitanyam is the same. But whatever Namarupa is there in Ishvara, so I say Panchamahabhuta, those will become Karanas for these. So the Upadhis of Ishvara will become as though the cause for the Upadhis at the other levels. So consciousness is not divided, it's one. We have to see that consciousness cannot connect with anything. That we think it's connected to this body is avidya. Many different ways of talking avidya. But basic point is, two things which are unmixable somehow are mixed up. That is what we have to unmix. That's why Viveka, it's so well mixed up that you see only one. Example given in Shruti is, you have a red hot iron ball. Red hot. Can you separate the iron from the heat? In your mind, you have to. Because when you hold the iron ball, it's going to burn you. But the iron ball is not hot by nature. That heat is from fire. The coldness alone belongs to iron. If you separate the two, you know the heat belongs to fire, though the iron ball appears hot. Same way, this body appears to be sentient, appears to be conscious, but it is not. Consciousness does not belong here at all. That needs to be understood. We'll look at it. Another way is not to take everything very seriously and accept people or situations as they are, since absolute reality is what matters. And also we see is mithya. Does this approach or attitude help me? You cannot see mithya until you see satyam. Mithya, the word you should not use mechanically. If I say this is mithya, you should know what is it satyam. You can say without knowing, because what you know is it's a dependent reality. You don't know, but you should know there's something else. And until you see it, you can't really say mithya with a very straight face. You should know what is it satyam. When you know satyam, when I know clay, I can say pot is mithya. When I know gold, I can say bangle is mithya. Satyam, mithya go together. This is the problem we point out to Buddhists. When he says shunyam, he says, you say mithya, I'll also say mithya. He argues like that. I am also saying mithya, what's the problem? We tell him, where is your satyam? For you, everything is zero. So you cannot say there's one more thing. Okay? So you have to look at satyam. Never take the word mithya lightly. Mithya must be that which you see does not have its own reality. And it's very easy once you start understanding what you are. It's very easy after that. What is the pramanam to confirm that I am the same person in Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti? You are. Swata Siddha. You tell me, I can't tell you whether you are the same person in your sleep, your dream and your waking. You know, don't you? What's the doubt that you are not? What's the doubt that you are not? Are you not? I mean, can I tell you what you are?
I am the means of knowledge.
I mean, I'm not saying you're the means of knowledge, but I'm saying experientially you know that I had 3 experiences. Aren't you the same person all the 3? Don't you know I had a dream, I was sleeping and I'm awake? Is there a doubt there? If there's a doubt, we have to look into it. Not just one day's doubt. I mean, over life, aren't you the same person all these years? Don't you feel that continuity? Don't you say I'm 75 years old, whatever you say? Which means that you can't say only daytime I was there, nighttime I was gone away. It's not true. You feel a continuity. I'm not saying continuity is real or unreal. That's not the content. But you, in your experience, I'm asking you, do you or do you not see you are the same? Because you cannot talk of something unless you experience it. Therefore, you know it is yours. I cannot prove that to you. All right? Okay. Then the waker and dreamer appear to be a little different to the waker. Dreamer is private and subjective. Waker seems to know himself better because the divide between experience is more clear to the waker. The dreamer does not do any sadhana. He can. In dream also you can do a sadhana. And sadhana can be very successful. Everything possible in waking is possible in dream. That argument I won't buy. Okay? And in fact, in dream also experience is very clear. Not to waking you, to dream you. In the dream, when you wake up, when you see a tiger, is the experience clear or not? Tiger is running after you. You're trying to run, your leg won't run. You get cramps. Then you wake up. Don't you have that experience sometime? If not tiger, something else. Something makes us afraid. And you wake up and you realize you're sweating all over. It's an experience we all have in some way. Is the experience not vivid enough? Is there anything in the dream which makes you think you're not awake? Within dream. Only when you wake up you say, oh. Your wife says, why are you screaming? Oh, okay. That's what happens, right? So it's the same. Mandukya Karika will show that whatever is true of dream is true in waking. Therefore, waking is as unreal as dream. So then we will be told, you are using Buddhist prakriya, you are saying it's subjective idealism. It's not the same. There's a difference still. Because we are saying the common truth is that awareness, both. Okay. The Atman is self-eliminated and it knows that it knows. No. It doesn't know anything. Atman doesn't know anything. Its nature is to shine. And in its presence, these other things light up. Like the sun doesn't think, I'm illumining the world. But it illumines. Not because it chose to, but it cannot but illumine. Sun is illumination. Same way, Chaitanyam is like a light for whom? For a light receiver, which is the mind. which is nothing but Chaitanyam alone. That's the problem. You can't understand how Chaitanyam and mind both can be Chaitanyam. That's the hard part. But this is all a model to explain. But look into her experience. That's why I told her also, examine what you are. Is it not true that you are the same and no experience sticks to you? Nothing sticks to you, which means all are appearances. This is why Dakshinamurti Stotram, you know, what is the first one? Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyan Atmani Mayaya Bahirivod Bhutam Yatha Nidraya. Like in a dream, though the world is all you, you project it as though it's outside, like in a dream. And the one who makes that clear is the Lord, who is the Guru. Then, Yasyaiva Spuranam, third one, or fourth one. Yasyaiva Spuranam Sadatmakamasat Kalparthagam Bhasate. The problem is this Chaitanyam, though it is self-shining, the subject-object is not an inherent part of it. Only when the subject-object are there, the Chaitanyam becomes manifest. Light, if you look at light by itself, you can't see it with your eyes. You only see reflected light. That's the nature of how our organs work. So if you were on a spacecraft in space, and if you had a window and you looked out, apparently you'll see only darkness. But if you put on reflecting media, then you will see light. Now, the absence of a reflection media does not mean there is no light. Answer to one of your questions. It does not deny light. But the fact is, the presence is required for a person to say it is. The person is not the reality. To say I am, you require a live body. You require it. But a live body is not required for you to be. For you to say I am, it's required. Am I making sense? It's a little harder, okay? But see, the face is always available. But for you to see it, you have to have a mirror. If the mirror is destroyed, your face doesn't get destroyed. 100%. But without a mirror, you can't see your face. Will you say, I have no face? No, I feel it. That's okay. But all I'm saying is, even if you couldn't feel it, the face is there. It appears to you in a given form only when you have a mirror. Same way, even this eye to arise requires a sukshma sharira. This becomes a problem in some ways to understand. That's also the reason why you feel I'm restricted to one body. But it's like one mirror sitting here. Light comes, okay? This is a model. Light gets reflected, and this reflected mirror does the job here of lighting up the whole body. We call that abhasa. We call it chidabhasa. I try to not use the word to the extent I can, but sometimes I'm constrained to use it. All right? So the fact is, you look at the example of sun and moon, it will help you. You are looking at the moon, full moon. Whose light is it? Moon's light? Apparently it's the moon's light. Is it the moon's light? Suppose there was no moon, will you see any light? No. So what do you require? The moon. For what? To bring the sunlight to you. Correct? Same way, consciousness is ever shining, but you need one moon here. Devata of mind is moon, by the way. So this is what accounts for the seeming separateness, because whatever you see is not really what you experience is Chaitanya. Now, when you experience the cool rays of the moon, is it the same as the hot sun rays or not? Not hot, but is it the same sunlight or not? Are they looking, does it look like sun? We look forward to the moon. And if it's a poet writing a romantic thing, he has to look for the moon, not a hot sun. Correct? But you tell me, is there anything other than sunlight feels different, looks different, experiences moonlight, knowledge is sunlight? Yeah? Now, what can the moon illumine? Right now, for us, it illumines this part of the earth. If as it moves, it illumines different parts of the earth. And one hemisphere is unillumined. Suppose we had 4 moons. Would you have 4 moons? Is it possible or not? 10 moons? We have hundreds of satellites. Even Elon Musk has more satellites than 100. Right? So suppose you had 1 million satellites. How many moons would you have? 1 million moons? How many moonlights? And each moon is a little different. How many moonlights? 1 million moonlights. Are they all different? Experiences, yes. What is the knowledge? There is only one. The problem is all these moons seem to be making our life complex. There is only one sun. All right? But the moon has its own characteristic. Each moon is made slightly differently. Therefore, the light that reflects on the moon is looking different. One moon looks yellowish, one moon looks like white, one looks blue, let us say. So what do you do with that now? Until you understand they are all one, then you have to explain why one light looks different. Then I will tell it is because the moon has a difference. And each moon illumines only a sphere in its zone. Sometimes multiple moons could light up the same zone. But in our case, each moon is lighting up only its zone. And the moon lights up this moon here. The moon is nothing but your own buddhi, which is able to manifest consciousness. It only lights up your buddhi. It doesn't light up the whole world. Therefore, the world you see is only the world you see. It's a very private world. You don't see what others think. It's not possible. It is possible. But that's a possibility that Bhagavan enables rarely. It's called a siddhi. Somehow there's a circuitry possible. Some hacks are there in place. When he wants, he can turn he can turn on the hacks. It's beautiful. He can do that. But the fact is, otherwise, each moon can only hear. It's like a moon. Sun is the same. Then, Swamiji, then we will never see the sun. True or not? You're only seeing moonlight. Moonlight is nothing but sunlight, so far as the moon doesn't distort or mess up with the sunlight. It should reflect cleanly. That is why you need to clean this mirror. That is called Chitta Shuddhi. Alright? So once you understand that, a lot of other questions will drop off. Why I don't see the whole thing if I am everybody? Why I don't see his mind, your mind? You can't. Because what you're saying, seeing, is this fellow. There is no seeing for sun. The moon, this moon somehow gets this Chaitanyam in our example. And therefore, with that you identify. And when you identify, then you will say, I see, I do, I know. Even the identification with this moonlight is not real. That's also a mistake. But when you solve the mistake, what will you know? You will know that there is only one sun. That alone reflects it. How do you know? That is Shruti Pramana. That is Shruti Pramana. Okay? I try not to complicate life, but I hope this makes it better for some of you. Okay. Can we say Nidranandam Paramasukham Kevalam Ajnanamurtim? No. Brahmanandam only. Brahmanandam only. There is no Nidranandam. Nidra is mithya. Satyam is only one. Whether Ganapati talks, or if you made some human beings and they talked, what is talking is only clay. Suppose this clay was converted sleeper, waker, dreamer. What is talking is only clay. There is only one vastu. No second thing can do anything. Therefore, Anandam, limitless, is only Brahma. Even Nidra, it's Brahmanandam only, not Nidranandam. Okay? You can say Nidranandam, but Nidranandam will be non-separate from Brahmanandam. I will give you that much space if you want. Today it was mentioned that I is a series of flickers is not correct. Not correct. Okay. But like a lamp rotated by swinging appears as a fire ring in continuity. Okay. Similarly, I appears as continuous even though it is a flicker. Who is observing that it's a flicker and it's being swung, etc.? Whatever you're observing is a flicker, I'll accept as a flicker. But the fellow who is observing the flickers, who is not flickering, is Atma. Don't take the flicker for Atma. Done. This much is done. Now I have some more. 9:05. 10 minutes? Yes? No? Any no votes? How many no votes? Okay, all no vote sayers can leave. You are free right now. Those who want to hear the answer can be here. Not very important questions. Questioners have questions. I'll hopefully finish in 5 minutes. Okay? But you are free, really. Those who want to leave are welcome to leave. No problem. All right. But questioners are here, I hope. Sedhu Madhavan? Available? Okay. What is conscience? Can action in accordance with one's conscience be taken as action in accordance with one's dharma? Normally when we act against our conscience, we get a pricking feeling. Can we take this as a warning we are going the wrong path? Correct. Your assumption is quite correct. Conscience, it pricks means whatever your values are, what you know is right, you're going against it. But if your value system is somehow distorted, then it may not be dharma. Get it? Whatever you know as the value systems, when you go against it, your conscience will prick you. Because in your mind, you internalized it. I should or should not do. When you do it, it will remind you, autopilot. Why are you doing this? So generally, conscience will be reminding you, it's a warning sign, that you are going against what you yourself think is proper. But whether what you think is proper is dharma is a matter of detail to be understood. Clear? But it's a good sign that you pay heed to the warning, saying, hey, because it knows, you can't escape it. It's always knowing what's going on. It will tell you it is not right. So you have to pay heed. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So I took only 5 minutes extra. Please go.